Welcome, welcome everybody. I'm the air quotes comedian, and this is the Polemics Podcast. Welcome. I was in Saudi Arabia a couple of days ago, and I went to the court and I said to the Qadi, if I commit adultery, can I be stoned to death, please? I love cannabis, and that sounds like a fantastic way to shuffle off of this mortal coil. The Qadi rolled his eyes and said, what are you? Yeah, I'm not going to do the accent, am I? I'm not fucking racist. He said, what are you? Some kind of comedian? I said, I'm not a comedian. I just have delusions of being a comedian. What I said wasn't funny. It just had a fever dream of being funny. That wasn't comedy. It just mistakenly imagined itself as comedy. Long story short, they cut my head off. Today, I'm going to talk about the oldest recorded joke in the world and how it is pertinent to this day. So this joke originates from Sumeria circa 1900 BCE, just shy of being 4,000 years old when the likes of Bob Monkhouse was just starting out. Now, to the surprise of absolutely nobody, I don't speak ancient Sumerian, so I'll just recount it in English. Something which has never occurred since time immemorial. A young woman did not fart in her husband's lap. Amazingly, it's still really funny because farts are hilarious. Also, and more importantly, perhaps inadvertently, it made a feminist statement. Allow me to elaborate, elucidate, and illuminate my thesis. You see, I don't think feminism will have truly achieved its goals until two things happen, right? Thing number one is when women's sexuality is finally accepted by society, and thing number two is when a woman can let one rip proudly and without worry, just like men are entitled to do. Yeah, there's the whole voting, equal access, equal pay, equitable representation in the boardroom and in politics, but that shit is small potatoes compared to smelly gas issued from one's derriere. Female comedians are starting to talk about their sexuality in an assertive manner, which I think pisses a lot of blokes off. For example, comedian Diane Spencer is hysterically funny when she talks about masturbating and her sexual desires. Blokes are generally uninhibited by societal norms when it comes to how many women they've done the bedroom boogie with, and they feel quite free to leave the toilet cubicle and admonish people outside that they might have to give it a few minutes before using it. Now then, imagine Sally Ann sitting in a bar with a group of friends, male and female, and she stands up and says, I'm going to the bathroom for a quick wank. For those of you who don't know what a wank is, it's a term for taking charge of your own orgasm, or onanism for short. So, Sally Ann pops into the bathroom and has a good rub on her magic bean. No beanstalk though, that's still in her handbag in the bar. She orgasms and feels so relaxed that she has a colossal fart. Then she exits the toilet and says, so everybody can hear, I wouldn't go in there for a few minutes. I've had so much anal sex from so many different guys that my farts are legendary. And everybody in the church chuckles and all is well. Yeah, it's a magical toilet cubicle, a bit like Doctor Who's TARDIS, but powered by orgasms and methane gas. See, the patriarchal oppression of women isn't just enforced by men, but also by some women. Women slut shame too, and saying I think it's because they have been gaslit and conditioned by men for so long that it's ingrained and difficult to shake off is like saying Jack the Ripper was a bit stabby. The ratio of men to women is roughly 50-50. Of course, there might be more women if China hadn't skewed the statistics. So how did men establish their dominance in the first place? I suspect they subjugated women by virtue of physical strength and violence and or the omnipresent threat of it if she didn't get into the kitchen and make him a goddamn sandwich. I should make it clear that I am in no way trying to speak for womankind because I have no right to. I also want to make it crystal clear that not all women want to be turning the air blue by talking incessantly about their sexual exploits and mores, or, indeed, turning the air into a miasma of fetid greenhouse gases by emitting such from their arsehole. I'm not such an idiot that I am, in some way, granting permission for women to do this or that because that would be regressive on my part. I'm expressing what I hope for, right? I do wonder about things, though. When I was a nipper, I had it drummed into me that pornography was morally wrong. One of the main reasons was that it was exploitative of women. That seemed reasonable at the time to me. When you grow up, though, you question stuff, because while I have no doubt that in the 1970s and 1980s women were exploited by the porn industry, I wondered if it was true today. I mean, there's a movement to legalise sex work. There's not as much stigma surrounding the porn industry, and a lot of women are taking control of their own careers. Why shouldn't sex be commoditised? Everything else is, after all. So, I thought I'd look on the internet to see what the feminists' thoughts were. Typical fucking bloke that I am, right? I expected there to be a feminist consensus on the issue, as if feminists were some kind of homogeneous conglomerate Borg-like hive mind. I found opinions to be diverse, conflicted, and generally much like the disarray the left is in. Unlike the left, though, feminists have at least gotten somewhere. Just like women, there are all kinds of feminists. There's first wave feminists. There's second wave feminists. Then there's third wave feminists, isn't there? And oh yeah, there's fourth wave feminists. And then there's... I'm not going to say what you think. There's no such thing as fifth wave feminists, is there, according to Wikipedia? That would be ridiculous. Then there's post-feminists. Then there's all kinds of subsets of feminists, one of which are called TERFs. That's TERF, which stands for I'm a hateful, ignorant cunt because I don't accept that transgender women are proper women. Fuck Joe Crowling, German Greer, the British Press, and Mums.net. They're the kind of twats who would deny women their farting rights. Anyway, my final thing to say is simply this. Down with the patriarchy and up the women. Wait, that didn't sound quite right.